Come on, bugs. There we go. Good morning, good morning. We're up on Facebook. That means we're up on YouTube. It's 8:28. Here's Casper. He wants to come say hi. Come on. Up you go. Oh, there. Oh. There's the Casper. We got Teddy here with us this morning as well. You want to come up and say hi, Teddy? Nope. Okay. Casper coming up. Say hi. Okay. Teddy's wandering around out there. You'll see him. Okay. Good morning. Good morning. I'm Harry Morgan Moses. We're going to gong ourselves in for our 20 minutes together on Coffee with Casper. We're just waiting for you to check in. Let me know where you're checking in from. We're glad you're here, and we're glad to spend this time together today. Yay. See if we can get all the pieces to come together here. There we go. Let me know where you are, you're checking in from. You can hear me okay. 8:29. We had a big group with us last week, live. We better keep check in all during the week. Got my beverage. There's Crystal. Good morning, Crystal. Nice to see you this morning. Good to be seen. I got some water bugs hanging out here from the rains. All righty. We're going to gong ourselves in about 30 seconds or so. Nice to have it all go so smoothly this morning. YouTube, and there's the Reverend Tricia Klink. Good morning from Moore Park. There's Pam from Napa Valley. Nice to see you this morning. We're glad you're here. Yay. All right, there's 8:30. Let's gong ourselves in and see where we take ourselves this morning. Here we go. Big, deep breath in, and we're going to let out the sound ah. And then relax the shoulders. Become very present to this moment now. Good morning from Santa Rosa, Pam Frasca. Nice to see you this morning. All right, big deep breath in. Relax the shoulders. And then bring your energy up into your heart center. And let's just hang out from that place where we're connected in heart-centeredness. What we know is that we're gathering here with a bunch of light workers, meaning that we are all aware that there's only one energy and matter are equal and interchangeable. And the reality is there's intelligence in that energy, and we are the gift of that intelligence to itself, through itself, from itself. So that's what we're here to remember this morning. Here in the United States, of course, in Mexico, challenges happening with the movement of power structures over there. And here in the United States, you got a lot of power structure stuff's happening. And the other neighbor to the north, Canada, everybody's regrouping to work with the waves of all the stuff that's happening in life. And then meanwhile, wherever we are in our personal journey, right, we're learning to go deeper into the truths that we know, so that we are not freaked out by all of the activity in the world. And there's a lot of activity because, as we've talked about time and time again on Coffee with Casper, the world is in transformation. We're letting go of the old and coming into the new. Ginny Galmari Fox, nice to see you. Thank you for being here, Ginny. Nice to have you with us. So how do we, the real question for us is, how do we maintain, when we get together and kumbaya and sing songs and praise and in groups, that definitely strengthens us. And we get, hey, aloha from Honolulu, and nice to see you. Good morning, Candace from Palm Desert. So we get together with these groups of people of like mind. Casper, it is, wants to come up again. We get together with people of like mind, and then we inspire each other, right? We call each other up, and then And then if we're singing great, wonderful songs about the praise and inclusivity of all life, then that lifts us up. And then what happens when we're by ourselves? Actually, that becomes the reality. So here's what Ernest Holmes, the great philosopher from the last century, reminded us, and this is where I want to take us this morning, is to daily meditate on the goodness of life and embody the great ideal is the royal road to freedom. So what is that great ideal? The great ideal is that we are born in the image and likeness. Good morning, Barbara from San Diego. Nice to see you this morning. We are born in the image and likeness of the One, and that the power of creation that exists in the One is given to us because Spirit is the only thing that knows itself. And you and I are able to proclaim, I am. And good morning, Elizabeth from North Hollywood. And if we're able to proclaim, I am, then that's the emblem of eternity. I am. That goes way back to the ancient Moses when he says, by what authority do I move forward? And the inner voice, the I am within him says, tell them I am. Tell everybody outside of himself, I am that I am, right? And now you and I have that same, Spirit is the only power that knows itself. We claim I am, therefore we are that power that knows itself. And the gift of the son and daughtership of the Most High, the Christ, the Atman, the Buddha, the full gift of the Spirit is the recreation of the power of creation that is given to each of us and all of us. So to meditate on the goodness of life and to embody the great ideal is I am that. That is the great ideal. And to embody the great ideal and to bring that great ideal forward into our lives on a daily basis. Now, we've all heard over the last 20, 30 years about the law of attraction. Well, the law of attraction or the law of the circle or the law of mind, there's only one law. There is that which receives the direct impress of your thought and acts upon it. However, it's not just your conscious thought. It's the conscious and the subconscious. And of course, the subconscious is much more vast than the conscious mind because the subconscious remembers everything and the conscious mind does not. So it's where we put it. But Spirit is the power that knows itself, and that's the power that's directing the law of attraction, directing the law of the circle. So when we daily meditate on the goodness of life and the great ideal that I am that, right? Then we are drawing forth into the reality, the inner recognition, the way we really see life is the attractor factor. It's attracting the good for us in health, wealth, love, purpose, meaning, success, fulfillment. All of those things are coming from my conscious recognition of the inner beauty of life, the actual beauty of life. We've been here in Southern California. We've had rain for the last couple of weeks, and we can see we're back outside in a beautiful sunny day, and you can see the mountains behind me. And this is where it's how we're gazing. Meister Eckhart, the line that we talk about all the time, the soul has two faces. One is gazing at the glory of God. One is gazing at the magnificence of the beauty all around us. And the other is directing our senses, right? So when we are paying attention to what our high self is looking at, the inner recognition of reality, the goodness of all life, love, beauty, wisdom, peace, poise, power, all of these things, love, peace, power, joy, these, when we start looking from that inner recognition, I see love, peace, power, joy, balance, harmony, the beauty of all lives, and the superseding law of all life is the law of harmony. Now, so how do we, hey Loretta, nice to see you from Boise. Nice to see you and Toby and David. Nice to see everybody. So this is what we need to really be focusing on, particularly if you're reading the evening news. My brother Graham Moses is with us on Coffee with Us. Good morning, Graham. So we need to really be looking at that inner recognition of reality, because when we get into worry and fear and doubt, we take ourselves out of the flow. And worry and fear and doubt is really our biggest enemy, right? Because my inner recognition of reality is seeing it. But if my personal self is looking at the size of the waves that are splashing on the deck at the moment, the waves in the deck in the ocean could scare us. Instead of knowing, I was just reading in a newspaper about an airline pilot who was saying that most people, when the plane gets into turbulence, tighten up their body, shorten up their breath, and become afraid and paying attention to every last movement of the plane. But the plane is floating on the air. And when the plane is moving around, it means it's doing what it's supposed to do. It's floating on the air. It's designed to do that. Turbulence is not what's going to cause anything bad to happen. Turbulence is just what's happening in the air. And if the airplane is moving in the air, that's normal. Now, how many times have you been on a flight and the turbulence happens and you tighten up? Well, I certainly know in my world travels that I have. And then I have to remember, no, it's the air that's moving. The airplane is moving with the air, and it's fine. And so if we relax and just sort of go just like we would in boating in the ocean, you can't fight the waves and the way the boat is floating. The boat's floating, and it's moving in the waves because it's floating. And if we become afraid of the floating, then we're against the design of boats. Boats are designed to float, and they're not designed, that's a great line, boats are safe in the harbor, but that's not what they're designed for. They're designed to float. Airplanes are safe on the ground, but that's not what they're designed for. They're designed to fly. And so we have to recognize, good morning, Paul, from DTLA, downtown Los Angeles. Wow, there we go. Hey, Daz, nice to see you with us this morning. So this is now where we have to focus. If we're moving into fear and doubt, we have to go back and meditate on the goodness of life. We have to go into nature and look at the beauty of life and appreciate the beauty of life and allow it to feed our soul. In a couple of weeks, we got one more week live of Coffee with Casper. That'll be 4 weeks in a row. And then my wife and I are going to Highway 1 to Big Sur. I have not hugged a redwood tree in too many years and been in the amazing presence of a redwood forest. It's an extraordinary thing, just like being in the mountains or being at the sea. When we allow nature to feed us, right, and allow ourselves to see in nature the beauty of all life, and then we recognize that that's just a symbol of the beauty of all life at every level. Imagine what your soul is really looking at if it's gazing at the glory of God, dimensions upon dimensions and worlds upon worlds. There was a line from Dr. Holmes. Good morning, Tammy from Pennsylvania. Nice to see you this morning. There was a line from Dr. Holmes that he says, that which today seems supernatural, once it is rightly understood, becomes totally natural. Another line of Dr. Holmes is, nature is always natural. It is only those things that are mysteries that we do not understand. So when we talk about the law of circle or the law of attraction or the law of mind, is simply that which is coming from me, the sum total of my awareness, that which is my conscious mind, my unconscious mind, my thoughts, my words, my feelings are all fed into my subconscious, and the sum total of all of that is hitting the law and returning to us as the multidimensional aspects of our experience. So imagine if you dwell on the beauty of life, so to daily meditate on the goodness of life and embody the great ideal. The great ideal is I am born in the image and likeness of the One, which means the power of creation of the One is the power of creation in me. And the more I daily dwell on that glory, on that wonder, on that harmony, on that beauty, and let that inner recognition of reality guide my way, it'll take me out of fear and doubt. So this is our work now for this week, particularly with all of the waves splashing in the world events. And praise the Olympics that we had a couple weeks of some beauty and some friendship and some inclusion and belonging. all people belong, all races belong, all ways of being belong. Each and every one is the I am in reflection. It's only a question of how much they know of it. Good morning, Carol. Not from Whittier, I think, Carol. And there's Rita Wagner. Just had a birthday. Happy birthday, Rita. So here is the reality. The inner recognition of reality is the attractor factor. So, and then how do we do that? And it's all based on your daily practice. It's all based on daily. I make myself, in the words of Dr. Holmes, see through the mist into the eternal and changeless reality. I anchor myself on the infinite, as we have been told. Alfred Lord Tennyson said, anchor yourself on the infinite. On that you can rely. Not on world events, not on power structures, not on the misconceptions of humankind, meaning prejudice and racism and non-inclusion, and not seeing the equality of each and all, and know that each one is in the spiral, growing and learning where they need to be. And only the self can lift up the self by the self. So the only one who can lift you up, who can bring you into a higher sphere of awareness, so a greater good is happening to you, the only one that can do that is you. So I had a funny experience yesterday. I had a lot of errands to run, and I had things I had to get done, and then I had some events came up that I had to tend to that were chop wood, carry water, that demanded my immediate attention. So I felt like I was running behind. So I didn't have time to get a real lunch, and I'm kind of a classic American. I love a good old hot dog once in a while. And I thought, well, I have time to get a hot dog. So I got a corn dog, and I got 2 of those little packets of mustard. And then I pulled into the parking spot because I know those little packets of mustard can be messy. And I tried to carefully open it, right where it says tear here. I tried to carefully open it and eat, and then I put it on the corn dog, and then some of the mess got onto my fingers, and then it got onto the bag that was the trash. And then I said to myself, I said, boy, these things can make a mess. And I opened the second one, and it like exploded. So I said, these things can make a mess, and I wasn't mindful enough when I opened the second one, and it exploded and made a real mess. So all it did was take what I said and magnify it. That's what the law does. It takes your consciousness wherever you're putting it, and it will magnify it so it returns to your experience so you can see it. So rather than be all upset about the little bit of mustard that went here, there, and everywhere, I had to laugh. I said, but these things can make a mess, and then, boy, did it just make a mess. Right? So when we find ourselves saying things like, these things can make a mess, then we have to pause and be a little more careful, a little more wise. I mean, it was a year and a half ago or so, we went to go visit our grandchildren in Palos Verdes, and the storm was happening, a rainstorm was happening, and they said dangerous conditions on the road. And my wife really wanted to go see the kids, so we'll go. And as I'm walking out the door, I heard myself say out loud, oh, this is a bad idea. And we had a nice visit with the kids, and driving back, we hit a flood, and the flood destroyed my car. I mean, I said out loud, this is a bad idea, and then I didn't listen to myself, right? And isn't that where the rubber meets the road? That something within us knows, and we have an intuition, we know something, and then we don't listen to that intuition. That's why the soul is directing the senses. It's trying to tell you, right? And then when it comes through to your conscious mind and you don't pay attention, well, that's just the law loving you so that you recognize that you are on the royal road to freedom, that you are that ideal, the complete embodiment of the Christ, the Atman, the Buddha, the sonship, the daughtership, the image and likeness of the one, and the same creative power that is spirit knowing itself. What spirit knows is and becomes experience, and what you and I know is and becomes experience. But are we knowing the heights and the depths and the beauty and the wisdom and the harmony and the power to exceed circumstance, to see through the mist and draw the inner reality of who and what you are into your experience, meaning that health, wealth, love, success, and fulfillment are normal. I choose to comfortably live my life and fulfill my purpose. This idea that I need to suffer through to fulfill my purpose is not so. This idea that I need to be in worry and fear and doubt because of world events is not so. What I need to know is that white light covers and surrounds me, and nothing but good can come to me. What I need to know is that I have the right to daily meditate on the goodness of life and embody the great idea on the royal road to freedom. And that's what you and I are about. We are the light workers of the way. We are directing the light through our inner recognition of reality to bring good and more good, love and more love, joy and more joy, peace and more peace. There is no limit to the good which is ours, but we need to separate ourselves not against the race consciousness, but from it, so that we are living an independent life in our individuality, which is the great gift of spirit to each one of us, the glory of the I am that you actually are. So in this week, practice that glory. Practice bringing yourself into peace regardless of circumstance. Practice meditating on the goodness of life and embody the idea. It's the idea of the royal road to freedom, the idea that I am that. I am the image and likeness of that, and the purpose of my existence is to express love at a higher level than I've ever known before, to be in awe of the glory of life, and to watch it expand in my awareness, and through that awareness, watch my authority to live a life of liberty, joy, freedom, love, and beauty beyond measure. You're watching Coffee with Casper. We'll be back here next week on Coffee with Casper, and we hope you'll join us. If you found anything valuable in this video, share it anywhere you can. Groups, LinkedIn, YouTube, like it, follow it, magnify it out there. Let's bring more and more light workers into the world, consciously living their lives and fulfilling their purpose. Who you are is something wonderful. And until we meet again, I invite you to go in the light, as the light and with the light. May the long-time sun shine upon you. All love surround you, and the pure light within you guide you on your way. Make it a great and wonderful week. I'm Harry Morgan Moses. We'll be back next week on Coffee with Casper. Hey, Casper, you want to come say goodbye? Who knows? He's found a lizard. We'll see you next week on Coffee with Casper. Bye for now.